Picture this, it's August 2003-2004 in the Netherlands. Summer vacation just started, you have all the time in the world and you're browsing for games to play on your shitty but really pretty awesome family PC. You're messaging friends from school on MSN and someone mentions Runescape. So you go on runescape.com, create an account, and all of a sudden it's dinner time. You're combat level 10 and having the best time in your gaming career as a kid. You explore Lumbridge, get killed at the Prince Ali jail near Draenor, get lost on your way to Varrock, dump your inventory a couple of times because you can't find a bank, and simply enjoy your adventure in Gielinor. Sounds faintly familiar? That's exactly how I got into playing the original, old-school RuneScape about 20 years or so ago, and still kind of do, all these years later. RuneScape is an old-school sandbox-ish kind of MMORPG where you're the adventurer or hero who goes around solving mysteries, goes on quests, slays dragons, and so much more. You're not bound to do anything. That's where the sandbox comes in. You're free to go and explore wherever you want, whenever you want. Granted, you meet the requirements for some of the areas, of course. Also, there's a membership to consider when you want to enter areas that are pay to play. The game is separated into two main versions. Old school RuneScape, which is the game as it was in like 2006, 2007 and is still being updated, and RuneScape 3, which came out in 2013 with arguably better graphics and a new combat system, new areas, yada yada yada. The story of RuneScape is fascinating, the gameplay is extremely rewarding, and the nostalgia, should you have ever played it in your youth, will hit you harder than a freight train. So, it's been 20 years now, I'm old now. And yet RuneScape hasn't lost its charm. Admittedly, I haven't played actively the entire 20 years and have definitely had some burnout points, especially with RuneScape 3, but I'll get to that a little later on. Back in 2003 until like 2007-ish, RuneScape was an entirely different game. We didn't have the Grand Exchange, much of the later skills weren't even planned yet, hell we didn't even have bank taps to organize our stuff effectively, but my god did we have a lot of fun. From completing Dragon Slayer for the first time, losing my first PvP match to hunting down noobs farming green D heights, getting scammed at Varrock West Bank, scamming people at Varrock West Bank, to finding 8 million GP, a lot of money back in the day, randomly in one of the buildings. I guess someone tried to drop trade, probably, and ended up pretty angry. I never really hyper focused on getting my 99s, like just been vibing and enjoying the incredible storytelling of the game through quests and discovering new areas and skills, and also there were a lot of events. I then took a significant break because I moved to a different country and picked the game back up again around 2012-ish during a particularly slow summer at the workplace. During that summer, I decided to move my noob ass to mid-game content and started focusing on getting my levels as high as possible, with probably the legit worst strategies in the game. I never said I was any good at RuneScape, just that I enjoyed it. I made a couple mil of flipping highly sought after items and started collecting event items. As of recent, I made a new old school account, learned about Runelite as a third-party launcher, and I've just been absolutely having the time of my life when it comes to gaming. Rediscovering quests, going from, yo, what's this, to, hey, I know this part. It made me think, what makes RuneScape so good? Why am I playing this objectively, graphically inferior game instead of the usual like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Warframe, Destiny game loop I'm so used to? What is it about RuneScape that makes me come back even after 20 years of this game existing and still have fun doing so? Is it the nostalgia? Is it because I'm looking for something to remind me of easier times, or is it something completely else? So to be completely fair on this basically bootleg review on RuneScape, or whatever you want to call it, I am absolutely burned out on modern games at the moment. COD is fun for like 10 minutes, then it gets old. Counter-Strike matches take too much time. Destiny 2 is, well, aside from raids and playing with friends from time to time, just pretty much dead. And Warframe is in a spot where I don't know what to do. But that's not the main reason I'm returning to RuneScape, because I return to RuneScape every other year basically. In my opinion, RuneScape, as many games did back in the day, offers something more valuable than just passing time with a fun game. In my opinion, RuneScape offers something unique for every player. This game has everything. It's got personal housing with customization, pets, companions, in RS3 terms even skins, and fully customizable appearances. Old School has a sense of familiarity to it. It's like a vacation spot you've been to often enough to know exactly where everything is, yet you still discover something new every time you go there. RuneScape has boss fights, it has grind, it has ways to make the grind easier or harder. You can AFK, you can go full manual. It has a bunch of different options for how you get to play the game, like Iron Man, hardcore Iron Man, the region locked shit. It has new content added to it constantly, a built out and centralized trading system. But across all of RuneScape, the most important factor, why I go back to it all the time, is replayability, diversity in gameplay, and satisfying and or rewarding gameplay loop. RuneScape respects your time. Since I last played RuneScape, I also discovered Runelite, which I mentioned before. It's a third-party launcher for the game, which adds so much functionality, enables plugins, makes skilling easier, gives you more information and data in general, and just breathes new life into a 20-year-old game. Ever since using Runelite, I've just been completely addicted to RuneScape again. There's something so satisfying about playing a game you've loved for years and years with the functionality and features of an almost fully moddable experience. Current pastime, coming back to Tutorial Island, the first little bits of training in Lumbridge, completing my first quests, and just absolutely vibing to the old songs. Has truly been the greatest experience in gaming for me since, well, probably the last time I played RuneScape. All in all, I think RuneScape has a lot to offer, both for people new to the game, as for people who haven't played it in a while like me, and also for veterans. Currently, I'm on that level 99 combat skill grind, got my prayer to level 70, finished Dragon Slayer 1, and just re-exploring the world of Gillinor through quests and simply just walking around. I've already met some really cool people, joined a new clan, and just straight up having a blast. But as mentioned before, the grind does not come without its fair share of burnout danger. RuneScape is insanely grindy if you do not know how to make your life easier. Your stamina runs out constantly, in old school at least. XP gain is incredibly slow in the higher 70s, 80s levels, and if you don't know how to get around that, it'll most definitely lead you to quick and persisting burnout. Spending an entire week in the Taverley dungeons fighting hellhounds isn't really the most fun experience, just to get to a place or skill level you really want to be at. But in comparison to like 10 or 20 years ago, luckily the YouTube wiki and quest guider pages have seen significant improvements. You can most definitely find your way through the entire game while being guided with the best strategies. So yeah, I just wanted to make a little video on how great RuneScape still is, how much fun you can still have, and hey, if you buy a membership, it counts for both RuneScape 3 and old school, so, you know, it's like double the fun. If you want to add me, my name is Swagbraham. As always, see you around.